Now, I must acknowledge that yesterday was an interesting day. We witnessed a fascinating display of foresight, a moment when a colleague sought to act on a premonition to address some matter before it even happened. But today, we leave the world of premonitions behind. We are not fortune tellers. But before we proceed with today's hearing, allow me to briefly summarize what transpired during yesterday's session. As the members of the committee will recall, yesterday, we officially began deliberations on the impeachment complaints against the Vice President. In total, there were 4 impeachment complaints. And yesterday, we took several significant procedural steps, each made deliberately, carefully, and in full adherence to the Constitution and our rules. First, we approved the withdrawal of the second impeachment complaint after the complainants expressed their decision to instead support the third impeachment complaint. This was further supported by the withdrawal of the endorsements from Representative Percy Sendanya and Representative Laila De Lima. Representative Sendanya noted that by reducing the number of complaints, the committee would effectively expedite the long-delayed impeachment process. Representative De Lima also added that this move would yield strategic gains in the future, quoting a song in the process, "It does not matter how we get there, as long as we get there." Second, we set aside the first impeachment complaint on the ground of violation of the one-year bar rule. This is by a vote of 22 in favor, 10 against, with 0 abstention. That vote clearly demonstrated that despite persuasive arguments from Representatives Antonio Tino, Rene Co, Sara Ilago, and even Representative De Lima, the committee remains committed to a prudent interpretation of the Constitution. As Representative Joel Chua said, the members are exercising caution in interpreting this constitutional limitation. Third, following the sponsorship speech delivered by Representative De Lima, we found the third impeachment complaint sufficient in form. It was timely filed, and all necessary formal requisites were duly met. The motion to find it sufficient in form was seconded and approved without objection. Fourth, after the sponsorship speeches of Representatives Paulo Ortega and Benny Abante, we likewise found the fourth impeachment complaint sufficient in form. In his sponsorship, Representative Abante invoked the values of duty, honor, and principle in stating that he could no longer remain silent, which compelled his endorsement of the fourth impeachment complaint. Like the third complaint, the fourth met all the necessary formal requisites and was approved by the committee without objection. Yesterday, therefore, we addressed form. Today, we move to substance, the heart of impeachment. And right now, we focus on only 2 complaints, the third and fourth impeachment complaints. Kung kahapon ay naging technical ang ating usapan, ngayon naman ay hihimayin at susuriin natin ang mismong laman ng bawat reklamo. Dito natin titingnan kung ang mga paratang ay umaabot sa pamantayan para sa impeachment. This is the stage where we ask, do the allegations rise to the level of impeachable offenses? Do these complaints meet the constitutional threshold to move forward? And importantly, are the allegations credible enough to justify moving forward with the process? To answer these questions, we must read the third and fourth complaints thoroughly. Parehas pong makapal ang mga ito. 98 pages ang third complaint, 72 pages ang fourth complaint, at pareho po itong may kalakip na napakaraming dokumento. Kung susumahin natin lahat at kasama ang mga kalakip na dokumento, lampas 900 pages ang third impeachment complaint at halos 800 pages ang fourth impeachment complaint. Hindi ito biro. Ito ay seryosong mga paratang na nangangailangan ng seryosong pagsusuri. Ang bawat pahina ay may katanungan. At ang bawat katanungan ay nangangailangan ng sapat na kasagutan. This is meticulous, detailed work that demands careful review and our full attention. Once again, let me reiterate, at this stage, we are not determining the guilt. We are not weighing the evidence. The only question before us is there enough in these complaints to justify moving forward with the impeachment process? Ito bang nakasaad dito? Sapat ba itong dahilan para sa impeachment? Now, I must acknowledge that yesterday was an interesting day. We witnessed a fascinating display of foresight, a moment when a colleague sought to act on a premonition, to address some matter before it even happened. But today, we leave the world of premonitions behind. We are not fortune tellers. Our duty is to scrutinize the documents now before us. Our focus is to determine whether the third and fourth impeachment complaints are sufficient in substance. Now more than ever, we must recognize the gravity of our duty. We are tasked not just with reviewing paperwork, but with making sure that the Constitution is duly followed. If the allegations are worthy of consideration, it is our responsibility to proceed to the next step in holding the highest officials of the land accountable for their actions. Kaya't magpatuloy tayo ng maingat at may integridad. Let us proceed constitutionally, upholding the process set forth by our fundamental law. Let us act with the integrity demanded by our oath of office and with the transparency expected by the Filipino people. Muli, itutuloy na natin ang pagdinig para sa prosesong ito. Ang saligang batas ang ating kumpas, ang katotohanan ang ating landas. Maraming salamat po.